You became the man everybody else wanted to be. Money's in the account, the car's looking flashy, you're living wherever it is you want to be. You may even switch it up tomorrow. Things are just great. There's a slight problem though. Why do you feel like nothing when everything goes quiet? I mean, that's pretty much why you're in the club every night, right? You see, Carl Jung predicted this moment. He actually said that the greatest tragedy of self is the unalive life with you. And right now, the part of you that's not living is eating you alive. I like to call that side your shadow. And in this video, I'm going to help you understand how to merge it all into one so that you can feel complete. Let's make this plan. Let's make this clear. I'm tired of hearing the word burnt out. And yes, it's the best way to describe it to some people that don't understand it fully. But you're not burnt out. You're disconnected. You've been performing for so long that you forgot who you actually are. And when you've built this success around the version of you that requires to be performing in order for it to continue to exist, what you have is you running on the hamster wheel, hoping for things to slow down eventually, but they never do. So it looks good because obviously as you're celebrating, the world applauds and they recognize you and you feel validated. The problem is when you're by yourself now, because you never gave that validation to yourself, you just feel like you need people to validate it in order for you to still feel that dopamine, that feeling that you currently still seek from others. It's a mask. I know it, you know it. So let's debunk how to deal with this. You see, there's a part of you that you've hidden. And the part, so let's make it a split. So you've got the you version, so who you present yourself to the world to be. So you may be virtuous, courageous, and diligent, disciplined, and hardworking. And then you've got the shadow. Now the shadow is everything you're ashamed of. That is still part of you, but you've kind of like eradicated it or separated it from yourself because you refuse to attach or believe that those attributes that you're ashamed of still belong to you. But they do. And that's what we need to understand here. We've been told to bottle these things up, hide them up, pretend like they don't exist, keep the fight every single day and become a monster and all these great things. And honestly, hey, listen, I'm guilty of this myself, to be honest, because some of my side of things, yeah, of course, I take cold showers just because I chose to, and I don't have to, especially considering it's quite cold in England. Yes, and it's basically summer, you'd be surprised. But you see, that persona is your image. Your shadow is following it right behind you, and it's got the same shape. And until you understand that the shadow needs to be integrated, you're going to carry on that they're two different people. And one is set on self-sabotaging because you're turning a blind eye to it every single time you refuse to acknowledge it. So let's make it a bit more concrete. Your shadow contains your softness, your fear, your hunger for validation and meaning, right? And I know you probably heard of shadow work and things like that, but it goes a slightly deeper. And the reason why I say it goes slightly deeper is because I want you to imagine it like this. You are you, right? But imagine you were split in two, and it's not a full split, it's just like a slide. But then you're acknowledging just the good side. The bad side, you're pretending it doesn't exist. Now, how well is that going to go? How are people going to perceive you? Because even they can see the other side. You just pretend it doesn't exist, but they can see it. Or they can sense there's something you're hiding at least. That's if maybe your persona is really hiding this great job of the fact that you're able to separate the two, right? But the truth of the matter is this: people can smell it. And because they can smell it, they can feel that there's something that you are not telling yourself. And even if you win, okay, let's say you win another contract, you get the new car again, you get the dream goal, you relocate to a different country, right? You are still going to be dealing with the lack or the fact that this shadow won't keep quiet. Why? Because you are alive. That's the truth. And that's fully, not one-sided, not two-sided, you are fully alive. So that basically means then is that when you now deny a side of you that's still alive and you're saying that you don't exist, to me, instead of you honing it, you're allowing it to basically roam free in your space. And because you're not acknowledging it, it just carries on doing whatever it needs to do. Because until you acknowledge it, you cannot set the boundaries. Okay? And if you cannot set the boundaries, or you can't even set it free because you feel to acknowledge it, you're gonna have lack of understanding as to why certain things are happening, because you haven't gained the confidence to control your full self. Now, I work with founders, leaders, you name it. And some of these people are your favorite singers and whatnot. But the moment they stopped performing, they didn't know how to just be. And because no one claps for your inner peace, you think it doesn't require work. And I'm here to tell you, if you have that peace within, then the peace that you gain from everybody else approving of your work is something that can't be taken away, because whether they give it to you or not, you are your own source. So you go from looking for a source of happiness to becoming the source of happiness, not just in your life, but in everybody else's too. And this transformation can only come once you accept that your shadow needs to be acknowledged and understood. This is not about softening you. This is not about saying, okay, it's okay for you to be fearful, and like most of this bullshit advice that's out there, oh yeah, just share everything no. This is about integration. This is about understanding that there's, for the program to work effectively, you need to install both sides of yourself effectively. Okay? Because there's times where softness may be required. There's times where it's fair for you to be faithful. But the key here is the ability to integrate and utilize it at the right times. Now, you're not going to be able to do that if you keep denying that these things exist. So what we're doing today is basically reclaiming the man behind the mask. Because once you stand in the room with nothing to prove and you start owning things, your confidence isn't going to be just a feeble conversation. No. This is going to be a complete transformation that you won't even find anywhere else, because of how authentic and true it feels. And not just that, but the energy that comes from it is something that's unspoken of, because you're no longer fighting with self, you're integrating. So every single move and step is to improve with synchrony, with alignment. And the ability to do that really creates this hard reset within your system that allows you to start hearing with clarity. And that's what this is about, hearing with clarity. So if you're that kind of man that wins on paper, right, but feels invisible in his own life, this video is for you, okay? And I really hope that by the integration of your shadow, you get to understand and see the benefits of being able to do that, but most importantly, the ability to really hone who you truly are without the shame or the difficulties or the lack of, what's the word I'm looking for? The lack of empathy, okay? You can't show empathy to someone when you haven't shown empathy to yourself. You can't show love to someone when you haven't shown love to yourself. You can't show money to someone if you haven't earned the money, right? So you chased the world, you won, right? But you left you behind in the process, and it's time to reclaim him. Because if you don't, no one else will. Let's build better relationships, one conversation at a time. If this video has helped you, drop me a comment below what you think in regards to the topic and what you'd like to hear more of. But nevertheless, if you're interested in working with me, book a calendar call on my website, the www.macdolec, and you see the programs and coaching work I've got going. If any of this sounds interesting, drop me a message, book a call, and we'll see how we can go from there. Alright? Cool. Really hope this has helped you. For more info, I'll definitely suggest probably looking at this video. And the reason why I say that is because it really sort of talks about the 3 shifts that I had to do personally in order to become the man I am today, in the hopes that it can help you do the same. Peace.